The latest in the poisoning case of Kremlin critic Alexei Navalny. Navalny's ally, Lyubov Sobol's home was raided by Russian police and she was taken in for questioning subsequently. Lyubov Sobol has been accused of trespassing with the use of violence or a threat to use it at an FSB agent's home. Let us take a step back to tell you what led to the Russian police launching a probe into Lyubov Sobol. Now, on Monday, Kremlin critic Alexei Navalny claimed that he had impersonated a Kremlin Security Council official. He posted a recording of the long conversation on his YouTube channel. He did this to unravel the truth behind his poisoning with a toxins expert with the FSB. Now, the conversation revealed that the poison was placed in his underwear in August to kill him. Russian authorities allege that Lyubov Sobol threatened the person who Navalny claims took part in his alleged poisoning. Sobol's apartment was then raided. Her phone remained switched off. She was questioned for hours. Apparently, Sobol had gone to the apartment of the man who was allegedly involved in poisoning Navalny. As of now, details of Sobol's location remain unclear, and her husband and her daughter, however, were permitted to leave the apartment. And Navalny has linked the probe to her trying to get in touch with the FSB agent he identified as Konstantin Kudryavtsev. Now, Mr. Kudryavtsev has said that he had been sent to Omsk later to seize Mr. Navalny's clothes and remove all traces of Novichok from them. This was a huge embarrassment for the Kremlin. Remember, the Kremlin had always maintained that it had no hand in this case. You may recall that Navalny and many foreign governments have charged Kremlin of poisoning Alexei Navalny in August with Soviet-era nerve agent called Novichok. We are now being joined by Fred Weir, a Russian affairs expert live from Moscow. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Weir. How do you assess this situation?
Well, the investigation of Sobol is clearly an indication of how the Russians are intending to deal with this. It's perfectly clear by now that something happened. In his news conference, Putin admitted that they had been keeping him under tight surveillance. So there were FSB people there when he was poisoned, and by Putin's admission. And now it turns out that through a combination of modern digital investigative techniques, they have named the entire a team that was allegedly conducted this poisoning, yes. And Navalny pranked one of them. So what could the Kremlin do? They could admit it. They could launch an investigation, yes, of what happened to Navalny. There are a lot of things they could do. What they're going to do is shut down any questioning in Russia about this. That's what this tells us.
All right, but as you know, Mr. Kudryavtsev has said that he was sent to Omsk later to seize his clothes. Now, these are some wild revelations. What do you think about this? How is this going to affect the case further?
Well, I think it's pretty damning. I don't think that. I mean, I was shocked by this entire story, and I was not willing to accept that the Kremlin would do a thing like that, poisoning with Novichok, a dissident. And so I've come around rather reluctantly to recognizing that did happen. And I think around the world, a lot of people who are prepared to give Putin a lot of the benefit of the doubt. And to know, I mean, I live in Russia, I've lived here for 30 years, and I know how it's become a much, much better, more livable place than it used to be. But this kind of thing, it just throws you for a loop. I have no idea what to say, but it's going to have an impact.
Of course. And when it comes to Sobol, how do you see that situation unfolding?
Well, this is not Stalin's Soviet Union or anything like that. Whatever happened to her, I mean, it's bad. It's a disgrace, in my opinion, but it's pretty soft repression compared to what this country has known in the past. I'm sure she'll be let go with a warning. I mean, she's been in this place before many times. She is a veteran, yes, of street and public dissidents.
All right, Mr. Veer, thank you so much for joining us with all those details.